Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground is brought to you by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
My name's Dave Towley. I'm a woodworker. I am a wood turner. We build custom furniture to commission, but our principal art form is wood turning. Kathy and I are each going to turn a piece for you today, and we're going to, and hopefully those two pieces will illustrate, one, the techniques inherent in wood turning, but more importantly, our personal vision and our personal aesthetic. I've been a woodworker for over 40 years, made furniture, I'm self-taught. I've been a wood turner for probably 30 years, started out making reproduction spindles, and then over time I just started turning gift items, and it just evolved, and it's become our full-time occupation since we retired in 2005.
I've been turning about a year and a half. I watched Dave turn for years. He kept asking me. One day I said, okay, I'm ready, and I haven't turned the lathe off since. I love it, being able to see what I can do out of wood, the different shapes, and it's fun. I describe turning, I describe it as a Christmas present. You basically, it was something that was wrapped. And you take layer upon layer off as you're unwrapping your gift until you get to the finished product, which is inside. Dave and I, whenever we're done turning a piece, it's like as simple as it can be. We're always, let's see what you did. You apply that finish, and there's no tool alike, and it's just exciting.
Now, granted, the wood itself brings a lot to the table. It exemplifies its life. If it grew on the north side of a hillside, it might not have had the sunshine. The grain might be a little different than if it were on the south side, if it had rain or if it had drought. Now, all those characteristics are embedded in the wood. And my role is to help bring that to the surface, to the light of day, if you will. I like the Eastern aesthetic. Less is more. We look for very organic forms, very organic shape that will not take away from the grain of the wood, but rather enhance the grain of the wood, the life of the wood, the life of the tree. We'll open a piece of wood, and as Kathy indicated, you never really know what's there. You've got an idea. Do I want to come in from the bark side and have a symmetrical appearance, almost an agate effect? Or do I want more of an asymmetrical appearance in the grain? In that case, I'll come from the center of the tree as I enter the piece. And at the same time, when you get in there, you'll find voids, you'll find bark inclusions that you didn't know were there. And that's where the serendipity comes in, because if you stop in time, you'll look and it's there. If you don't stop, it may wind up on the floor as so many shavings and you never knew. And that was all part of what's captured in that moment in time when we open that piece of wood up. And if we're fortunate, we see that, and we discover it, and we make it permanent, if you will. Wood is in the cultural heritage of everyone who walks the face of the earth. At one time, wood in every culture was used in a utilitarian way. And what we're trying to do is to re-engage people with that background. People are used to wooden cutting boards and wood on handles of knives, but they don't necessarily think about wood as a functional item from which to use every day. And you haven't had popcorn until you had it out of a wooden bowl, I'll tell you that right now. Each piece that we make, and we've done 650 some pieces in 2009, each of those pieces has a little bit of us, a piece of our life, and we're all learning. I'm still learning, 30 years of turning, and I still learn. I learned from Kathy. And working together, there's a synergy. It's almost Zen-like. When you get into a rhythm, it's not work so much as it is joy. You strive to bring out the best line, the sense of form that you can. Again, anticipating, as Kathy indicated, the end effect of the grain. There's something, the essence of yourself that you're bringing to the piece. And it's that we strive to share with others. It's not just a piece of wood that's been turned that we're going to sell. It's a piece of ourselves. It's the way we look at life and how we look at the world. Simple, less is more. The vast majority of our raw materials are from Minnesota. A large amount of our wood is from just west of here, Shevlin. We have Dwayne Shoup supplies with a lot of wood from his woodlot. So we're trying not only to share our work with people, but we're trying to stimulate the local economic base we may earn the money elsewhere, but we spend it locally. So. been a fun journey. It seems like yesterday I turned the lathe on and I made that little chalice there. It was my first piece on the faceplate. We still have it. I wished we'd kept Kathy's first piece, but she insisted that we sell it just to see if it would sell, I think. And it sold at our first show probably within the first hour. Yeah, she does fantastic work. Now we have two different pieces of work, and they're obviously different in form, but they're also different in our approach. I entered the wood from what would be the center of the tree, and I have an asymmetrical grain pattern, which was my vision for this piece. Kathy, on the other hand, entered from what would be the bark side of the tree. As she explained, she wanted this symmetrical agate effect and the pronounced grain pattern. Those were design decisions unique to each of us in our vision and our voice. And the fact that they're similar in size but unique in shape, I think, reflect the fact that we're partners in this enterprise, and we are mutually supportive, and we certainly nourish each other and gain a very positive feedback from our relationship. This is an opportunity for Kathy and I to be together 7 days a week in the shop, working together and experiencing the joy that comes with creative self-expression.
If you enjoyed this segment of Lakeland Public Television's Common Ground, consider making a contribution at lptv.org. If you have segment ideas pertaining to North Central Minnesota, contact us at legacy@lptv.org. Common Ground is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund by the vote of the people on November 4th, 2008.